Hi, everybody. We're going to get started here. I first want to welcome everyone. Thank you for coming. The first person I'd like to introduce is our new dean. Dr. Misra is going to come up and say a few words.
A very good afternoon to each one of you. President Dr. Soap, Provost Dobman, distinguished guests, dear students, colleagues, and friends. At the outset, I would like to sincerely thank each one of you for accepting me as a member of LTU family, so please do accept my sincere gratitude. Actually, officially, I don't start until September 1st. So I'm doing a voluntary service today. So it is my distinct honor and heartfelt pleasure to welcome you all to this very special occasion, the white coat ceremony for the incoming cohort of cardiovascular perfusion at Lawrence Tech, which is being held under the dynamic leadership of Kristen Fennelly, the program director. And I also would like to acknowledge the support of Dr. Yavan Lee, who is the chair of the Biomedical Engineering Department, as well as our program partner, Comprehensive Care Services. So please do accept our sincere thanks and for all your support. So let me say a few words about our students. So today marks more than just the beginning of your academic journey. It marks your formal entry into the world of healthcare, a world built on precision, compassion, responsibility, and trust. Donning the white coat is a symbol of your commitment, not only to learning the science and art of perfusion, but also caring the lives of patients, often at their most vulnerable, in your capable hands. I don't have a good knowledge of cardiovascular perfusion, but I'm going to learn a little bit more in the days and years to come. So to the best of my understanding, cardiovascular perfusion is a field of immense technical skill and critical importance. One that requires not just knowledge, intellectual knowledge, but integrity, calm under pressure, and unwavering dedication to patient care. You are stepping into a profession where your actions will directly support and sustain life in the operating room. Few careers carry such profound responsibility and such deep reward. So essentially, you will be doing a dedicated and required service to the society. At Lawrence Tech, as you all know better than me, we believe in theory and practice, in connecting the classroom to the clinic, and in preparing you not just to graduate, but to lead. You are now part of a legacy of excellence, innovation, and service, and we are proud to support you in each and every possible way. That is our endeavor. To the families and loved ones here today, thank you so much for your support and coming here to this very special ceremony. Your encouragement, sacrifice, and belief in these students have really helped them to achieve this milestone. This movement belongs to you too. To the family and loved ones, once again, I would like to say my sincere gratitude and sincere thanks. So as you receive your white coats today, remember, they are not just garments. They are a promise to your patients, your profession, and yourself. So please do wear them with humility, with honor, and with purpose. So once again, congratulations and welcome to Lawrence Tech. We are proud to walk you with this journey, and I wish you all the best in this journey, in this very important journey. Thank you all. So now I would like to request Dr. Soap, President of Lawrence Tech, to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon. First of all, a very, very heartfelt welcome to all of our new students. And to the parents and supporters and friends, congratulations on joining Lawrence Tech. Congratulations. I just want to say a few things about the university and where the intersection of cardiovascular perfusion as a profession really lies within the global vision and mission of Lawrence Tech. Lawrence Tech is one of very few universities in the country that is technologically focused by mission, by vision, and by name. It is also a comprehensive doctoral university, and in our case, we're a private institution. That distinction is kind of interesting because the US is home to more than 6,000 universities. We actually are the country in the world with the highest concentration of universities per capita. Some would say maybe 2,000 universities too many. I didn't say that, but that's a, I hope I'm not being recorded. But the bottom line is, out of these 6,000 universities, there are literally 13 universities that are technologically focused by mission, vision, and name, also comprehensive doctoral and independent. So you are truly joining a university that's amongst an elite group of universities that is really best prepared for the amazing changes of technology coming up in society and the world in the 21st century. Having said that, Lawrence Tech is, yes, a very elite university in that sense, this uniqueness and character, but by no means are we an elitist university. We are actually a very inclusive university that really tries its absolute best to provide incredible opportunities for advancement in life to its constituents, whether they are the faculty, students, or other constituents that we serve. The program that you're in is kind of truly unique because it really represents the intersection of all of our interest as a university in theory and practice, as the dean has mentioned, and our technological nature, and also our global vision and character as a public serving institution, really serving the public and trying to help the public. Every one of us knows that health sciences and healthcare is a field that requires incredible support and faces a dramatic shortage in workers in the US, whether that shortage is in cardiovascular perfusionists like yourself, or nursing, or doctors, or what have you. So this program really is very depictive of our journey at Lawrence Tech. It is a program that serves society and provides public service by hopefully graduating eminent professionals who will be saving lives and making a huge difference in society. And it is a program that really emphasizes the newest trend in healthcare, health tech, and medtech by emphasizing the technological nature of our offerings in general, and in this case, cardiovascular perfusion. We are eminently proud of your accomplishment. You know the admission rate in that particular program is obscenely low, so I do commend you on the admission. That's a very significant milestone. I have absolutely no doubt that you will tremendously succeed in this program and make a powerful impact, not only on yourselves and your families and your communities, but most importantly, on the patients that you will be serving for many, many years to come. We are already proud of you, and I can't wait a couple of years from now to be even more proud of you when you graduate and walk across the stage at your commencement. Congratulations on joining Lawrence Tech. Hope you have a fantastic couple of years with great outcomes and significant impact, and we can't wait to hear about the wonderful things you're doing. Congratulations to the supporters and parents too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sob and Dr. Misra. Again, I just want to take a moment and welcome you all here today as we celebrate the first milestone for our newest Master's in Cardiovascular Perfusion students, so welcome. My name is Kristen Finelli, and I have the privilege of serving as the program director for the Perfusion program here at Lawrence Technological University. I cannot express how proud I am to be a part of this program. I have been a perfusionist for over 12 years and love this profession just as much now as I did when I sat in the shoes of these students. First, to our students, congratulations. Getting here was no small achievement. You spent months preparing applications, weeks waiting for emails and decisions, and then faced 8 straight hours of interviews. For those who may not know, these remarkable individuals rotated through 9 different interview rooms over an 8-hour day, just in one day, to earn their seat here today, so bravo. What we saw in each of you, your drive, your curiosity, your commitment, is what secured your place in one of the most demanding and most rewarding fields in healthcare. Over the next 21 months, you'll be tested, challenged, and transformed into the professionals you are meant to become. Before we move forward, I want to take a minute and thank those who made all of this possible. This program began as a bold vision, a small group with a big idea. With the support of Dr. Kevin McCusker, our program founder, along with Sean Murtha and Patty Finelli of Orem Analytical and Comprehensive Care Services, that vision took shape. From there, the dedication of LTU's leadership, including Dr. Sobe, Dr. Heist, Dr. Grace, Dr. Mirmarani, and Dr. Lee, transformed it into the nationally accredited, respected master's program it is today. We are excited to continue our collaboration with these accomplished individuals and to also welcome the opportunity to work with the new Dean of Engineering, Dr. Misra, and our new Provost, Carl Dobman. Next, I'd like to mention Dr. Robinson, our Medical Director, and our faculty members and instructors. Thank you. Your expertise, mentorship, and commitment ensure that our students don't just learn perfusion, they learn how to be exceptional clinicians. I've always felt that this program is nothing without the combined efforts of our team. While one individual's contribution is invaluable, it's the collaboration, shared experience, and expertise, the dedication of everyone together that makes this program truly thrive. It is this collective effort that enables us to provide the exceptional education and training our students need to succeed. Alone, we could not achieve this, but together we create something extraordinary. Also to our administrative teams, admissions, scheduling, marketing, finance, e-learning, and our wonderful assistants, Olivia and Winter, who keep things moving smoothly. Your work may happen behind the scenes, but its impact is everywhere. Thank you for all you do to support both the faculty and the students. Lastly, but certainly not least, thank you to our new students and their families. Thank you for trusting us to shape your future in education. As many of the students know, and I'm sure their families have learned, perfusion is a very unique but also very relatively new field. Students get ready to enter a career where most people give you a puzzled look when you tell them what you do for a living. I am over a decade into this career, and if I had $1 for every time someone asked what a perfusionist did, I would probably be retired on a beach somewhere by now. But in truth, I don't mind the question, because it gives me the chance to explain just how vital our job really is, even if people have never heard of it. Contrary to popular belief, we don't work with perfume samples and are not to be confused with percussionists. We don't play the drums or cymbals. To summarize what we do in one sentence, we operate the heart-lung machine during cardiovascular surgery, but in reality, we do so much more than that. It was not that long ago, only in the 1950s, that research led to the very early development of the heart-lung machines. As the technology advanced, so did the role of the perfusionist, transforming it into a recognized career. Initially on-the-job trained, it wasn't until the 1970s when the first formal training programs for perfusion began. Fast forward to 2025, these students can attest that entrance to perfusion education is now highly competitive, but will lead to a challenging yet rewarding career. It was truly fitting that our program commenced at LTU, an institution, as mentioned by Dr. Sobe, deeply rooted in the values of theory and practice. Thanks to extensive planning with our Director of Simulation, Rob Johnson, this group of students will have the most hands-on training in our sim lab of all students to date. Also, thank you to Chelsea Johnson, our clinical coordinator, for acquiring and securing over 56 clinical sites and growing for our students. That brings me to the importance of today's event. Some of you may have not heard of this ceremony before today. However, the white coat ceremony for perfusion students symbolizes their formal entry into this high level of a healthcare profession and serves as a significant rite of passage. When you put on this coat, you're pledging yourself to a standard of care. You will hold in your hands the trust of patients whose hearts may literally be stopped, and yet whose lives will continue because of your skill and those team members around you. Today represents the student's commitment to patient care, ethical practice, and the high standards of the profession. The ceremony highlights the importance of professionalism, compassion, and integrity as students transition from the classroom to clinical practice. As you embark on this journey, know that you are joining a strong and supportive community. The path ahead will be demanding, but you have all the tools, resources, and guidance to succeed. This program will challenge you academically, technically, and personally. It will require late nights, persistence, and humility. But you are not alone. You have a network of peers and faculty who will support you, and more importantly, you have each other. Your diverse backgrounds, from nursing and ECMO to respiratory therapy, research, and beyond, are not just resumes. They are resources for one another. Where one of you is strong, another may struggle, and together you will grow as a team. One of my mentors recently said to me what a heavy responsibility it is to train those entering the profession to independently deliver safe patient care, and I couldn't agree with that sentiment more. Perfusion is not just about operating a machine, it is about becoming, in that moment, the patient's circulation while their heart rests. Few careers place that kind of trust in your hands. As you put on these coats today, remember, this is not simply clothing. It is a symbol of commitment, of responsibility, and of the future lives you will help sustain. We are proud to walk this path with you. Welcome to the next chapter of your journey, and welcome to the LTU family. It's my honor to now introduce someone whose skill, leadership, and compassion have inspired us all, our program's medical director, Dr. Philip Robinson.
I wish my wife was here to hear that compassionate part. But she is a perfusionist. We met in college, so I wasn't the tawdry hospital affair where I left my first wife and 5 kids to run off with all these great-looking perfusionists. So we actually met in college, and I became a heart surgeon to keep an eye on her, because I thought she was really good looking. I always enjoy this day. It reminds me of my first day in the military, when I wasn't sure what I'd gotten myself into. And you're really going to find that out tomorrow and Thursday. It's going to come fast and furious. But hopefully you'll take out of that the lessons that I learned in the military, which was everyone needs self-discipline, pay attention to details, and it really is a team effort for everybody in the operating room. So I want to welcome you. This is the 4th class, as everyone has made a reference to, and you guys keep getting better and better and better. I try not to look at my notes too much, but just to keep me on track. I look at your, they send me little intros about all of you, so I have nothing to do with the decision process. So if there's a disgruntled student here, not me. The grade points keep getting higher and higher. The professions that you're coming from, we have nurses and ECMO specialists, and for people who don't know what ECMO is, it's what a lot of times are used to support very, very sick patients outside of the operating room, and especially children. You have former EMTs. You have a fully trained perfusionist. That's a whole nother story that I'll explore in a little bit. And I had to practice quite a bit on this word yesterday, but you also have at least in the intro, it said was a necropist, which is someone who deals with tissue, and I don't know if they raid autopsy labs or whatever, but that's one I had never seen before. But this world of heart surgery is going to challenge you academically as well as mentally and socially. You're entering a world of nothing but type A people. Highly motivated, obsessive compulsive, neurotic, and occasionally psychotic, as most people in the operating room will refer to the surgeon. As he's crazy, but in our view, your whole existence is to make me happy. And you only have to do 4 things. Keep the heart from beating, keep it empty, keep it where I can see, and allow the patient to wake up. If you can do all that, you're great in my book, okay? But it is some very challenging people that you're going to run into. But it's also an exciting world. Do you ever stop to think that maybe in just a couple years, you might be part of a team that implants an artificial heart in somebody? Those are being done now. Or you might be part of a human heart transplant. Those are great and exciting things to see. Maybe even an animal transplant to a human. Or involved in a life-saving operation on a small infant no bigger than your hand, whose parents anxiously sit out in the waiting room. And you are the only expert in the room on the heart-lung machine. You know, to us, you're a tool. It's actually listed on one of the OR schedules. For whatever operation it is, they'll say, oh, we need a laser and perfusionist under tools. So we know what you kind of do, and we know what we want you to do, but we don't actually know how to do it. So we rely on you. You really are the experts in the room. But for sure, you're going to be operating on somebody's father, somebody's mother, someone's son, daughter, sister, brother. And that's a tremendous trust that someone places in you. The other thing that this career is going to offer you is you're going to become the medical expert for any kind of heart disease. You know, once you say, hey, I work in heart surgery, well, you're going to hear about everything from, you know, chest pain and whatever. You know, I was just reading something the other day that the 2 most respected professions or careers in the medical world were a neurosurgeon, but they can't fix half the things that really are the major problem in neurology, which are strokes. And the second one is cardiac surgery or cardiac surgeon. But we can fix the majority of problems that occur on the cardiac side. And there's a lot more people with cardiac disease than there are with strokes or neurologic disease. So you will be the go-to person for friends, neighbors, any acquaintance about heart disease. So my career started at U of M. I have 2 degrees from U of M. I have a bachelor's and an MBA from them. We were actually trying to do some work in Africa with building a hospital that would be self-sustaining because there was no heart surgery outside of Egypt and South Africa and nothing in between. So some of your teachers went with us, and we did heart surgery over there, and we did it in the dark with no electricity, sometimes with a flashlight held over your shoulder, so you have to be very, very adaptable. But I went from there to Wayne State's medical school, and then I was going to go to UCLA to do my surgical training, but I wound up going to the University of Alabama. Strange circuitous pathway there. But when I came back from UCLA, one of the thoracic guys said, "Phil, if you want to be a heart surgeon, you have to go to Alabama. It's one of the 5 best places in the world to train." I thought, Alabama, okay. But who was at Alabama was John Kirkland. And John Kirkland, if you don't know, actually took Gibbons' work, who was the founder and who had the idea of a heart-lung machine, from when he sat and watched patients die from a pulmonary embolus, and they would be whisked off to the operating room, and then within 5 minutes the surgeon could open the chest, open the pulmonary artery, escape out the clot, close it, and hopefully the patient would survive. Had this idea, if we only had a machine that could support them, we could do this in a much better way. Well, he worked on it for 30 years and made some progress, but not much. He did 6 patients, and it was a death, alive, death, 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 death. And he abandoned it, said it just wouldn't work. But John Kirkland was at the Mayo Clinic, and he took up this work. And in the mid-50s, he developed the heart-lung machine enough that they operated on 8 babies, and 6 of them lived. And so heart surgery using the heart-lung machine was born in Minnesota, and it spread all over the world. Well, John Kirkland was at Alabama, and he is one of the people that helped train me. And he was a fascinating man to talk to, very demanding man, but I learned a great deal from him. When I came back, I joined the largest private practice group of cardiac surgeons in the United States. We had 15 heart surgeons, and we were doing about 4,000 hearts a year ourselves. Each of us were around 300 hearts. So in my career, I've probably done 10,000 hearts. A lot of experience. Then I went to Beaumont, wanted to join with Oakland University to start a medical school, so they chose 6 of us, and we became faculty at the Oakland University School of Medicine, and I was a professor of surgery there, and then moved on. And I remained that mainly as an adult cardiac surgeon. I didn't want to do kids anymore after I had kids of my own. It's too heart-wrenching. And that's what I've done up until the past couple years. And now I work for Henry Ford, only 42 weeks a year, so I'm considered half-time. So I can have some kind of life and some kind of humor. So I hope you take this with humor, but I get to, like I said, look at your bios before they send me. And there's some this is an interesting class, I think. You have a fully trained perfusion student already in your class if you don't know that. So if I was a student, I'd be saying, wow, that kid's going to set the bar. I'm going to look like a dummy. He's going to get all the questions right. This is never going to work. But I hear he's a really nice guy, and I'm sure he'll help in whatever way he can. You've got a married couple. That should be exciting. I don't work with my wife because I don't want to end up on the couch or eating cold cereal for dinner. So I'm going to follow that relationship quite closely and see how that works out. I had to Google, I had to use my AI. You can't say Google. And I kind of looked like, well, how successful are husband and wife working relationships? And it said it could be, but it could not be. So we'll leave that to be. You've got a nurse who's actually worked as a scrub tech or a scrub nurse in an operating room with cardiac surgery. So hopefully she'll teach you what I learned as an intern. It's called the ABCs of surgery. If there is a problem in surgery, we love nothing more than for things to go very smoothly. But if there is a problem, we always follow the ABCs. A is you have to assess the problem. B is you have to blame somebody. And it can never be the surgeon. That's just a rule. We're never wrong. Once you assess blame, it's either your first assistant, who's right across from you, or the scrub person who's next to you. If those two are eliminated, that leaves anesthesia. And if the patient's asleep and we're on bypass, it only leaves you, the perfusionist. And every problem is due to you. So after we blame you, then we get to criticize you. We'll offer all sorts of explanations of why things are this way. You were up late last night. You clearly didn't pay attention during that lecture. You don't know what you're doing. That's just the way it goes. You've got a couple EMTs, former EMTs in your class, so the first test you get back and people are passing out because of these scores, they'll know how to resuscitate you. And one of them actually teaches, I saw on his bio, taught pacemakers. So that's a class they always dump on me to teach pacemakers, so I think I'll let that slide to him. And then you have the necropist. I'll never get able to say that. So I don't know what that involves. But I don't know if I'd hang out with them late at night. I don't know where that's gonna lead. But not too long ago, we were on an airplane trip to California. My son got married on a beach in Malibu. He's a film editor with a whole different life. He did Keeping Up with the Kardashian TV show and Housewives of Miami, so that came out of the basement of my house for a while. So I was forced to watch some of those videos. But anyway, I sat next to a life coach. Now, I'd never heard of what a life coach was. But anyway, she told me her story, and it was a little hard luck story. Her husband had died from a heart attack when she was young with two girls, but she had become a life coach. And I said, well, what does a life coach do? And it was yoga and it was meditation. It was a way to escape in your life for a while and regroup. And I never quite got what it was. But I kept thinking, no, you don't escape. You embrace these things. Because life is full of problems and full of challenges, and you can't walk away from them. And you have to think them through. Heart surgery and the heart-lung machine are far along, but they're far from perfect. Your machine is far from perfect. It's the number one cause of morbidity for the patient. It's not me, it's you and your machine. Because it alters the blood flow to the body, and there's changes that occur, and we'll fight those changes for the next 3 or 4 days, and for the patient maybe for 5 or 6 weeks. So there's still a long, long way to go into perfecting this, and that's part of your role, not only to learn how to use the machine correctly, but how to improve the machine, how to improve our outcomes. But as I thought about this and her escapism mentality, it took me back to my son, who's now training to be a cardiac surgeon. And when he didn't make his travel hockey team when he was about 10, it was devastating to him. And as a parent, you can fix all your problems for your kids when they're small. But there comes an age when you can't fix their problems. You have to support them through them. And I very quickly realized we don't need anyone to teach us how to deal with success, but you do need someone to teach you how to deal successfully with failure, because there's a lot more failures in life than there are mountaintop successes, and you're going to experience a few of these in your next 2 years. You're not going to get things as easily as you think you are. You may not turn out to be the smartest person in your class anymore, because now you're all very, very smart. You're not setting the bar, but someone else is. And those are very humbling times, and you question yourself. But for my son, he moped around, and I thought, what can I do to encourage him? And I go back to John Kirkland. He was a fascinating man in that he had these little sayings that have stuck with me for 50 years since I first heard them. And I thought, okay, I have to come up with some for him. So I went on this big research thing. How can I motivate my son? And I came up with 2 quotes, and then one I kind of made up on my own. And the life coach liked that one, so I'll take credit for it. But anyway, Henry Ford said, if you think you can or can't, you're right. So when you struggle through these classes and some of these concepts and some of these difficult things and you doubt yourself, well, if you think you can't do it, you've already built in an option for failure. But if you say, no, I can do this, I can do this. I remember trying to figure out L&D isomers in organic chemistry. I'm sure all of you remember that. I think, I'll never get this, but I kept working at it. And finally, when you do get it, you say, oh, wow, this is pretty easy now. So I always remember that. It's your attitude. And then the second one was, do you listen to yourself or do you talk to yourself? If you listen to yourself, you're usually complaining about things around you. Oh, this isn't right, and this isn't right, But if you talk to yourself, it's like, come on, shape up. You can do this. Work a little harder. You've got the history of success. You've got through college, and you're not going to learn any new science that you don't already know. You're just going to apply it in a different way. It's not hard. It's hard to get to do. It's what one of the surgeons, very famous surgeon from the Mayo Clinic, came and talked to us. He was talking to this whole group of heart surgeons. He goes, oh yeah, heart surgery is not hard to do. It's just hard to get to do. And it's the same here. This isn't hard to do. It's hard to get to do. But you've made it through that gauntlet. So you're going to do well. And the one that I like, that I came up on, that I use with my kids all the time, especially when they were playing video games, when they should have been studying, was, life's going to honor that choice. Tomorrow, when you take the exam and you fail, or you don't do very well, but you scored really high on Mortal Kombat, life will honor that choice, that you made that night before. So choose wisely what you do. So finally, I want you to end with, like I said, this is different than college. This isn't about pursuing a degree, a bachelor's or a master's. That's not the goal here. The goal is to make you the best perfusionist that's well prepared, well trained, well disciplined, and the expert in the room, because someone's life depends on it. We can do all we can do, but if I can't see and the heart's beating and that, then we can't do our job very well. And I think that's the commitment of everyone here, is you be the best you can be. You be the best students that you can be, and we'll try and be the best instructors for you, because we're committed to you succeeding. We can't replace you. You can't go out on the street and pull off someone and say, okay, you're going to put you in the 6th month of our perfusion school. We can't do that. So everyone is committed to your success, from the president of the university to the faculty to me. I may be the most approachable cardiac surgeon you'll ever meet. And if there's something you don't understand about an operation, we're more than willing to sit down. There's no, and go over that with you. There's no question that's too dumb or too simple or too embarrassing to ask. We want you to feel that we're open, we're there for you, and we're willing to help you. And with that, I welcome you to the school, and you'll see me in a few lectures, and my part in the simulation lab is I come and I rant and I rave and I throw things, and you'll learn to duck, and but we'll try and make it enjoyable for you. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson. Next, I'm going to have Chelsea Johnson, our clinical coordinator, come up, and we're going to have all of the students come up for their white coats. We'll have the first group stand behind the white tape, and then we'll follow suit. Is that right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, first we have Morgan Chapman. Kimberly Connolly. Andrea Forrest. Hannah Hagan. Bryn Halabicki. Drake Heldcat. Megan Heldcat. Brian Hobby. Mary Idings. Sarah Corson. Bianca Matoski. Moses Tadampuri. Jessica Thomas. Lauren Turner. Trevor Varner. Zini Wee. Now if we could have the class of 2027 stand, please, and repeat the pledge after me, or with me. Ready? Today, we, the class of 2027, embark upon our medical journey as future perfusionists. To our patients, our communities, our colleagues, our profession, and ourselves, we make these promises. To our patients, we will advocate for all persons by serving the individual. We will practice with compassion and preserve our empathy. As perfusion professionals, we shall respect the patient's rights and dignity and shall uphold the doctrine of confidentiality regarding privileged patient information. To our community, we promise to be mindful leaders, to collaborate and to serve. We will share our knowledge, enthusiasm, and spirit through open channels with those around us. We will strive for social justice to foster a healthy society. To our colleagues in our profession, we promise to maintain a lifelong curiosity, to dedicate ourselves to innovation and discovery. We will rely on the strengths of our peers to transcend the boundaries of our own abilities. We will build relationships founded upon respect, to share mutual responsibility in maintaining the ethics of care. As perfusion professionals, we must uphold the dignity and honor of the profession, accept its disciplines, and expose without hesitation illegal, unethical, and incompetent conduct. To ourselves, we promise to hold ourselves to the highest standard, to always strive for greater proficiency. We will balance with the facets of our profession by caring for our patients, our families, and ourselves. We will maintain awe for the gravity of our responsibility to conduct ourselves with dignity and courage. We will adhere to these promises with humility, self-governance, and genuine desire. We will be grateful to those who serve and those who have served us. We pledge to ourselves and all who can hear that these promises will guide us on our medical journey as perfusionists. Congratulations. Okay, you guys can sit. And for our closing remarks, we have Rob Johnson, the Simulation Lab Director.
All right. So I'm going to end this in 8 minutes. I want to start with expounding on success, failure, and purpose. Dr. Robinson talked a lot about success and failure in part of his speech, and I want to expound on that a little bit. So if you guys, 3 in the back, would do me a favor and stand up for me. So I want to start with success here. Success with Aaliyah, success with Sophia, and success with Michael. They're our second-year students this year, and they're all seniors making us proud out there right now clinically. They are local right now, serving time in Royal Oak, should I say. And I'm getting the pleasure of also pumping cases with them, and I got to tell you, this is where I see you guys next year, okay? This is success. All right, let's start there. Second. Success is being able to find what you're meant to do. I am basically created to be able to be an instructor. I can't deny it. I can't walk away from it. That's kind of where I am in life. I should be educating something, somewhere, somehow, with something involved. And that's usually students that are willing to be here and have paid their time and their dues to do it. I have the pleasure of being able to do that and tying 2 things together, a profession I love and a role that I love being in. And I wouldn't have that opportunity if it wasn't for the founders that put this school together, like Patty, Sean, as Kristen mentioned earlier, approaching Lawrence Tech University and making this happen, Dr. McCusker, our founding director, and all the hard work that got poured into this from Kristen and Yawin to make this all successful. I've got to give them all a successful and very thankful thank you. All right, now let's talk about your success. Your success was making it through the gauntlet of an 8-hour interview, as Kristen said. That's already a pretty big success, but front and center in the white coats, you guys must know, that's 5% of our applicants. 5%. So they're better than 95% of their colleagues and peers that tried to do this. And that's very much the story nationwide with all perfusion programs. Over 300 applicants went for this program. All right, and that's just their cohort year. All right, so they've already done a certain level of success that I think deserves a big applause. But it's just started, so we're going to work on that. And now we get to failures. So when we talk about, the 5%, that also leads into the growth of this program. And as many of you may already know, we have just went from 12 actual cohort members to 16. So our program is growing. We're doing that consciously. We're doing that very controllably. And that does mean that we scaled up my time with you. And when I talk about the 5%, now we're talking about 500 plus hours with this guy. All right, so you have a lot of time with me. And then also my assistant in the sim lab, Joe Lester, who you'll meet tomorrow. It's his first year on the job with me, but let's just say it's 40 plus years in the field. So you're going to have a wealth of knowledge to be able to stir from. And as far as failures go, I figure if I'm going to tell you I'm going to be with you for 500 hours, maybe you should know what I mean about failure and purpose. So failure, I'm going to share it quickly because I don't have as much time. So back in, it's kind of like John's days, playing sports, I failed to be able to continue my baseball journey in high school. I was told after failing a class by 1 point because I was too busy working at a job, as a high school student, and I got a 69. And I remember the conversation, the parent-teacher conversation with my father, and I was the first kid, the baby of the group, but the first kid to ever fail a class in high school. And it was on no one's bingo card because I was a pretty smart student. Well, we came down to awareness. I wasn't aware at the time, but I was also working that job pretty late, 10, 11 o'clock, but I'd also stay around and talk and goof off with other people, and I would be getting home around 12 o'clock midnight, turning around, trying to write a paper, and then go to school and hand that paper off in the mornings. Kind of the whole Mortal Kombat thing, But I was doing it as a socializing kind of person. So ultimately, lost my ability to play high school baseball because I'd failed a course, all right? I was ashamed of the family for a while, and I really had to soak that up. But awareness was part of that, right? I had to be aware that it was only my fault. I could have technically went straight from work to home, maybe not spent to the last minute on that paper. There's a few things I could have done differently. But that was a good lesson in high school because it got me a little bit more in gear. So in college, I didn't feel anything really for a long time until I took an extra elective in Spanish. We're not going to talk about that. No bueno. But got better at that afterwards too. I will say that, that kind of thing really awakens a certain amount of grit that you have to get to, okay? And that failure really was a turning point in my life scholastically. I said, I'm not that person. I need to prove it. So eventually I wound up in respiratory therapy, okay? And got to tell you, loved it. Really poured my heart into it. Finally found something that felt like it put me in gear to help people. And eventually I went for a supervisor position. Didn't get it. So I said, well, how did I not get this? I'm a charge therapist, and I'm doing all the things. I'm checking all the boxes. Well, I didn't have a bachelor's degree at the time, and I got beat out by a degree. And I said, fair enough. Maybe that's how this works. I just have to keep climbing and I have to keep getting better, and that's my failure, is being aware that I just didn't have the degree level I need. So what do? I look at bachelor's degrees, found perfusion. Said, oh, well, that's cool. It's a whole different field. I get to grow more. Let's do it. Never looked back. And I got to tell you, by the time I got in perfusion, you'd think I had it all under my belt and I was ready to go. Nope. First day MP exam with my PAs and MPs sitting around me, I got a 68. 68 on my first day MP exam. Failed my first big exam. What did it tell me? Quit working, going home on the weekends and working shifts, get serious about school. Pretty much B's and A's the rest of the time that semester, but it was a lesson. Awareness. Okay, is what I want to preach here. Awareness. Failure is not always about failure. Failure is about learning from failure. Okay? Awareness and resilience. So I obviously completed school, and I've done well, and I've kept my duty to myself as like, hey, you fail in life, but then you're going to show and you're going to come back even better. So we like to talk about it with the Detroit Lions here in Detroit, grit. All right, so basically, as a new grad perfusionist, I ended up with a target on my back at Columbia University because I was getting involved with so much that the bosses at my department had to tell me to quit volunteering for stuff. How many times do you hear that? You guys, maybe a lot. That's how you hear, right? But the reality is, that was grit, all right? I was like, I want everything. I want to learn it all, okay? And it took failures to awaken that, okay? Why do I talk about all this? Well, I learned a lot in 2 years. That within 3 years, I was a director of a program here in Michigan. Within 4 years, I was already training people for ECMO and crisis management nationwide for a company. And within 5 years, I'm sitting down to instruct you guys in a simulation lab as an expert. I'm not bragging. I am the product of failure. And here's what my pledge is to you. You're going to fail with me. You're going to fail a lot in the lab. Because guess what? Simulation labs where you can do it safely. I'm going to make sure you all fail at some point. You're not that good. Maybe not Moses. He's sort of done this before. But I promise you, I'm targeting you for a reason. How many people back here failed with me? Maybe not have failed an exam, but have you failed in front of me? There's a purpose to it, right? You're going to be better. That's our promise. That's my staff. All of our staff are here to make you better. We dedicate this time to make you better. That's our pledge. Now, you just need to be aware of your failure. Where did I go wrong? How can I get better? Resilience. I'm going to show them better next time. I'm going to do better next time. And then purpose. I'm going to do better for this patient. So when you walk away today, moms, dads, they're a product of you, family and friends, they're a product of you. You're going to need to give them the support they need for the next year to make sure that they reach that purpose, patient care, and the love of this field. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. That closes up this ceremony. I want to thank you all again for being here and supporting this new class. We're very excited to have you here and get started this week. At the end of the ceremony, we'd like to get all of the students on the stage to take a photo. So if any family wants to take photos as well, it'll be a good opportunity. Thank you, guys.